Hey you, what's good? I discovered something shocking yesterday. But I need to explain the lore first. So 3 weeks ago I got this itch in my groinal area that told me to blow the dust of my old copy of Metal Gear Solid 5. Phantom Pain. Phantom Itch. I never mentioned this as loudly as I will now, but I'm a huge fan of Metal Gear franchise. Some might even say that I'm a glorified meat rider of Hideo Kojima, and they may be right. So I've booted up Metal Gear 5 every other year just to collect some rewards that I will go into in a minute. What's funny is that a lot of people share this itch, because I've seen a lot of videos popping up recently with people saying that they also started playing Metal Gear 5 again. A week ago I saw some news circling that this year will bring a lot of news about Metal Gear. Possible remakes, remasters, new collections for PlayStation 5, and much more. As you know, Metal Gear movie is also being made, although it's still in development stage. But I digress. Phantom Pain was released in 2015, and I spent countless of hours in 2015 playing this game. Even 2016. Actually, the game counts hours and minutes, so I'm approximately 300 hours in. But at some point, I kinda moved on. I don't remember why. Maybe new games, maybe starting this channel, changes in life, another puberty perhaps. Doesn't really matter. This video is going to be a review of sorts. How is it to play Metal Gear today in 2023? I won't go into this grandiose and elaborate storyline Mr. Kojima is known for. I would only like to concentrate on the game loop. When Phantom Pain released, it received some backlash and also praise. The thing is that people noticed that some content is kinda missing, which became prominent at the latter half of the game, especially final chapters. It was announced that one full location was pulled from the final cut. Konami didn't give time to Kojima. Instead, they were busy firing him. Funny thing is that Konami didn't seem to understand that Kojima is Metal Gear, and there is literally no one else who can pull off a worthy sequel without him, or at least without his input. Or crazy pills. So what kinda made me jump back in? Well, at first, this magnificent, fully fleshed out online system, base construction, combat deployment, and development of items. You see, as you experience the game, you gather resources, like fuel, biological materials, precious metals, and so on. I'm not going to go into plants and animals and money itself. You need all of these to build up your arsenal, your weapons, your items, your armor. You do it by developing them. And it takes real time, starting from minutes, and I've seen them going as far as 12 days. And there are more than 300 items you can develop. To be honest, 300 hours in, I still have about 80 items to go. High-tier battle dresses for my soldiers, stealth suits, 50 weapons at least, medicine, and I haven't even started parasite items yet. I mean, at this point, I have at least 250 more hours for everything to be completed. Okay, but you might say that, oh, it's so boring, you know, gathering items and waiting and developing, it sucks. But if you prefer the game to end after the story, then Metal Gear is not for you anyways. I will continue. Besides completing missions, earning rewards, unlocking blueprints, finding specialists, everything else relies on resources you gather. How much will you manage to steal from missions or free roam or FOB missions, meaning other players? Resources also means tanks, military units, mortars, soldiers, cannons, and other personnel. And yes, you can steal people, and you have to. You need it all to build your army and develop your base, so other people can't come and rob you of your precious resources. You can also send your army to do missions for you, combat deployment. From there, you can choose rewards, what you want to receive. If you want new specialists, some plants or money or resources, it takes time. But the longer they are out, the higher the rewards. Now your soldiers, they have different skills. What do they specialize in? What are their traits? Everyone can talk in different languages. Some might be a problem solver. Some might be a troublemaker. They can be skilled at art of war or medicine. Or they can be good for nothing, lazy ass motherfuckers like me. Every soldier has their skill level. I think there are 9 of those. From E to S++. So, some are good at everything, some are good at nothing.
Mr. Jabba the Hutt, you fat, slovenly, no good, lazy... Oh, come on.
But you can choose which soldiers will you send out and which ones will protect your base. Spies are good for intel, fighters are good for security or active deployment. You also need men for command platform and research and development teams. Each of those sectors have their own platform, something similar than oil platforms, basically same structure as Metal Gear 2 had. You need to level those platforms up to recruit more staff, open new developments, thus you gain more benefits in the open world missions as well. As you build your platforms, which require huge amounts of resources, your base also grows physically, in size and height-wise as well. So basically, it gets physically bigger, meaning that whoever attacks you is now facing a longer journey to be able to complete the mission and steal from you. You can always visit your platforms, they are all interconnected. You can say hello to your staff and you can beat them up to boost their morale or discover hidden secrets inside like posters and gems and you name it. Also hidden rooms. And you have a zoo. Yeah, did I mention it? No, I didn't. You can unlock new cutscenes and see something different every time, kinda. You can also take showers, which have great benefits overall, in real life as well. But your base is at the core of this game. Literally. Now, besides your own base, you can also build 4 FOBs, which are your mother bases all over the world. Meaning they are online as well. Everyone else can access them and infiltrate you. Meaning that you can also infiltrate other players' bases as well. I do it at least 4 times a day. Someone gets robbed by me. Excellent. Sorry, it's difficult to talk. I have those Invisalign braces on. I will take them off. Much better. But most people don't bother, don't know or don't care about their own bases. Meaning that they might lack in security, which is good for me. Before you attack a player, you must do your research. How many victories does the player have? That determines if they're online frequently or not. It's almost a death sentence when you attack a player who is online, because he or she will receive a message that you're coming, you're invading. That means they can infiltrate your infiltration. And it's very difficult to battle against other player and their army while you're being alone. Anyways, you also need to see how many cameras do they have, how many traps they have, do their cameras shoot, do they have drones, do they have drones who shoot, do they have hidden mines, or do they have sensors that if you steal some resources, it will trigger the alarm. You also need to make sure how many personnel there are guarding the place. Do they have resources to grab? That's most important. But the personnel usually has armor on, so you need to make sure, do they have helmets or not? What kind of equipment you want to bring with you? If you find a player whose platforms are approximately not higher than 2 levels, then it's kind of an easy mark, because you only need to complete 1 platform, run to the second one, take down the army, put them to sleep, throw them overboard. I love that. Steal everything, and then run only 2 floors up. Beautiful. I usually attack base development platform because it has the most resources. So goddamn people, protect your bases. Do bare minimum. Little protection and sweet reward. That's what I go for. So let's say that you managed to infiltrate successfully and grabbed some resources. They are not available to you right away. Your own mother base needs to process them, and it takes real time. So you can't use them right away, giving the defender a time to retaliate. They have 1 month to do so. But I usually leave my game open for the night, and it will process everything I gathered. And no one ever dares to attack my base or retaliate because it's so well defended. After everything is processed, I will just use the resources and develop something. So yeah, as mentioned, I put a lot of resources into protecting my base. I have fully armored, heavily armed guys, lethal veterans with deadly weapons. To be honest, it's not difficult to defend your base, it's fully automated. You just need to do bare minimum to keep it safe. Max out your security, max out your cameras, they are put to place automatically. Rest of it becomes down to the skill of your attacker. And remember, it becomes exponentially harder for the attacker every time you upgrade your base platform by 1. So raising the height at the amount of platforms, it's really efficient, because the attacker needs to clear it all before the finish. But back to the base game. As you play through the main missions, you gain more and more unlocks. New weapons, new suppressors for new weapons, new allies, buddies, a dog, your sniper, your bipedal walking robot. And you can also develop items for them. You can start summoning sandstorms, ask help from your support team to send you weapons, send a helicopter to shoot enemies, tranquilize them by sleep gas. And you can also ask your deployment team to do the mission for you. Missions also have a rank, S being the best, that you were fast, efficient, and not got caught. Every mission has a lot of tasks you can complete besides the main objective, and you can do all of those missions however you please. Walking in guns blazing, or just sneaking around, putting everyone to sleep. First thing I mentioned to my friends when I was playing this game was that this game keeps expanding as you're completing it. It will give you a surprise after another surprise after another surprise, and that goes on till at least 3/4 of your way through. At some point, you will unlock a capability to develop a nuclear weapon. Nuclear weapons, you can do a lot of those. But it's very expensive to develop it. It's supposed to act as a deterrent, but it truly makes you a huge target. In March 2020, there was a joint effort by hundreds of players, 4-month operation to dismantle every nuke in Metal Gear Solid 5. You see, all players can develop them, all players can dismantle them, and every player can attack someone and steal it from other player. But they are highly defended though. The group of peace-hungry rebels started capturing ground, taking Konami's challenge seriously. It was known that once you destroy every nuke, a hidden cutscene will be triggered. And this seemed like an impossible task Konami set to players, because you could just simply develop a nuke and laugh at the face at the people who were actually destroying them. So who would win? The rebels won on PlayStation 3, and the cutscene was finally unlocked. But there are about 2,500 nukes left on PlayStation 4 and about 20,000 left on PC. Developing a nuke not only takes a huge chunk of resources, it will also deduct 50,000 hero points from your account, basically making you a villain, a demon snake with a horn and forever bloody suit. In comparison, completing a well-done mission will yield you about 400 to 1900 hero points. And one mission usually takes about 15 to 30 minutes, sometimes even an hour. So do the math. I actually have around 450,000 hero points, meaning that I'm as clean as the Pope's bed sheets. As you can see, even without the elaborate story, which is marvelous, I must add, and without doing any missions, you still have a massive amount of content. This is the video I always wanted to make about Metal Gear 5, but I never kinda started, because it was such an undertaking. What is awesome is that the online component is fully functional and updated regularly. Events every other week and so on. And I see a lot of active players. Recently even more. I see them because at least 15 of them try to attack me every night and fail. In 3 weeks, I have seen one successful guy who came knocking at my door and got some resources out of me. By the way, every time you get attacked, you still receive rewards. You get some points that you can exchange for resources or personnel or plants or whatever you want. So don't be afraid if someone attacks you. It's actually good for the game. Everyone wins, and I can't wait to see what this year brings. Do we have news for new Metal Gears or remakes or remasters? I am very excited. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like, smash that bell, and if you dare, subscribe as well. I am SillyLlamaz and thanks for watching. Till next time.